So for today's video, everyone, I want to talk about something that's been actually been trending on the news for a little while. It's mainly on social media, I should say, like Facebook or Twitter. And for those of you guys that live, let's say in Oklahoma, you probably have heard about it, what's going on. So let me get to the point here. For the last few months, apparently someone's pet albino, I don't know if it's a Burmese or a reticulated python, but it's about 13 feet long, has actually been now roaming free in a Oklahoma neighborhood for about at least half of the year now. And some people have claimed the animal is probably feeding on certain like rodents out there that are roaming around. And apparently, I guess, a couple of different animal control people in the area have been called in to try and catch the snake, and unfortunately none of them have been able to do it. I don't know why some of them have called it off. They've called it off on a couple of occasions. I don't know why. Now my thing is like, how did the snake get out of its enclosure? Well, not just out of its enclosure, but outside of its former owner's house, you know? And that's where I also want to dig into furthermore, everybody, into today's vlog. So obviously, how did the snake get outside? Where was the owner when this happened? And why hasn't action been properly taken right away? Now, I can surely understand some of the locals that are living in this neighborhood in Oklahoma are freaking out about this python that's wandering around. Now, we have to understand, everyone, this is not the snake's fault for being now in this area where it's not native to. It's really the person that was not being responsible to care for the snake, everyone. Because if you actually purchase a snake or any animal as a baby and don't take full responsibility to care for it, you're neglecting it, chances are it's gonna eventually do something horrible. And that's what's gonna happen. It's not the animal's fault, it is the owner's fault. This guy, whoever owned this 13-foot python, clearly was not being responsible. And they have not come forward to address who it belonged to. And right now, this snake has been on the loose now for about half a year, and no one has been able to apprehend this thing. So, and this snake has survived several months, literally feeding on wild animals for a while. So my only concern is like, well, actually, you know what? Make that more than one concern. Like, where is the owner for the snake? What happened to the owner? Did he just go ahead and decide to abandon it and leave it where it is? Or did he decide to go ahead and let it loose? I don't know. This has been a story that's been going on for a little while, and no one knows exactly how the snake got out. No one knows who it belongs to. No one knows where it came from. So there it is. That's the issue right there. And this is kind of giving snakes a bad name, everyone, because there are some irresponsible pet owners out there that don't really care for their animals. And some people that are just getting into snakes, they see this cute little, let's say like a baby reticulated python, for example, that's a hatch, and it's only maybe 2 feet long. And they think, oh my god, it's so cute, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this thing. They buy the animal, but they so soon don't realize is that if they have not done their research prior to buying this animal, they have no clue what they're getting into. They don't realize how large a reticulated python is going to get. These animals can get up to about 20 feet long and a couple 100 pounds. And to the person that bought the snake, I don't know if you did your research properly on this thing or what, but shame on you for being neglectful to this poor snake. Shame on you for not being responsible. Shame on you for literally not being using caution with this animal. Big shame on you, whoever is responsible for this animal, because you were not being properly responsible to care for this thing, and that whoever it belonged to is completely on you. Let's just say, for example, I play as the neglectful owner of that snake, everyone. Well, or somebody else. If I were just to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm done, I don't care for these animals anymore, I'm going to go ahead and set them all free out into the wild, everyone, every single one of them. It's going to be free released out here into the neighborhood. Very dumb thing to do. Very dumb thing to do. Obviously, this person, whoever owns it, is not being responsible again. Like I've said it probably like a million times. If I were to release all of my snakes in my neighborhood around here, chances are my neighbors that live around here, they're gonna freak out, everyone. They're gonna be wondering, what kind of snake is this? That is a big snake. They're gonna be saying yada yada yada. And they're probably gonna call either 911 or they're gonna call animal control to deal with this kind of stuff, because they probably have never seen a snake like the snakes I have before. Really, really concerning. Even though animal control has already been called, I think, a couple times to take care of the python, and unfortunately they chickened out. But this is just, I don't know. I don't have the words to describe how furious I am for this poor snake. You know, this animal, you guys, didn't ask to be neglected. It didn't. But yet, the person that owned this animal was not being responsible and just gave up on it. There's no excuse to give up an animal and just say, and dump it into the wild. That's not proper, everyone. And as a matter of fact, in many states, it's illegal to do that. Like, especially exotic animals, it's very illegal to dump them into an area where they're not native to. So, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're ever gonna catch this thing or what, but I'm just hoping whoever did this, hopefully they do see this video and they need to come forward and explain to yourself why you did it. Why is your pet's python now roaming in the area where it's not native to, and why it's in a neighborhood where it's freaking people out? Why aren't you actually taking action on it? You're letting this thing scare your neighbors to death, and literally it poses a concern to the native ecosystem as well. Now listen, I understand that this incident that's going on outside of my state has nothing of my concern to anyone, but when we're talking about the reptile community, everyone, we're talking about the entire nation right now that owns reptiles. And there's over 1 million people that own a pet reptile at this time, everyone, maybe even 2 million people by now. And for someone to not take action on their missing pet reptile, they should not be able to own any animal at all. Like, seriously, no one should be allowed to own any animal that they neglect or don't take action if it goes missing. Because I've had a couple times where a couple of my animals have gotten loose in the house, and I had to take action immediately on that. I was not like, you know what, forget it. They're free anyway. No. Because these animals, I paid good money for them. They are produced in captivity. They would not do too well out in the wild. And if these animals found their way out into the wild, they would be putting the native wildlife at serious risk of spreading new diseases and potential parasites that could seriously threaten the native species around here. So that's why in many states, including here in Michigan, it is illegal to release a non-native exotic reptile. It's very illegal, and it actually can land you a fine and potentially some time in jail. Well, look at that. I finally got Ariel on camera, everyone trying to climb up on her tree. I don't know if I ever caught her on camera doing this before. I guess it's like one of her favorite spots to snuggle. And it's almost like she does it. Oh, I spoke too soon. She probably notices me already. Wow. I mean, look at her go, everyone. She's climbed up near to the top. I think that's like the second or third time ever since she's moved into this terrarium she's ever climbed to the very top up there. Normally she's like either sitting right halfway down or she's literally on the ground zero right here, but rarely do I ever see her climb out that high. So that's actually my first or second time I think on camera I've gotten her to climb up that high. So for anybody that has a pet reptile that they don't want to care for anymore because it's just either too much work or they don't have enough time to help take care of it, the best thing to do is either call your local wildlife sanctuary or even call up the closest public zoo that's open to you guys, because there's literally hundreds and hundreds of zoos all over the country that do take in unwanted pets, everyone. They really do that, because we actually did that several years ago with a couple of our rabbits. We actually called up a local zoo about an hour or two away from here, asking them, hey, we have a couple of little bunny rabbits that we can't really care for anymore. Do you think you guys would be interested in taking care of them? And they said yes. And since then they have actually been doing well at the zoo, everyone. We actually saw them once or twice over the last several years at the zoo, but since then we haven't seen them lately, but we'll probably have to take another trip over there sometime. Not this year, because their zoo is already about to close down for the year, but maybe next spring or summertime we'll take a trip over there for the day, everyone, and take a look at the wildlife and just see what else they've added in there, because that zoo is just absolutely a wicked place to visit. And so wow, that's a lot of talking for me to do. But yeah, with that everyone, I'm gonna go ahead and just end this video here, everyone. So feel free to share, what do you think the public needs to do with the animal? Do you think it needs to be euthanized, or you think we need to get animal control involved to recapture this animal and bring it into like a local vet or a sanctuary to get it checked on? But that's gonna be up to you guys to decide in the comments below. So feel free to do that down below. So I'll catch you guys in the next one.